Greetings to all of you. My dear sisters and brothers and my dear friends, a warm welcome to all of you from your pastor, Yeti. I hope all of you had a great weekend. So, we start today with a very new meditation, but also kind of a study. It's about, I will follow you, O God, embracing Him as Lord in your private worship. The fear of God does include a certain fear of incurring God's displeasure. The dominant element should be the filial love of God. Yet we must not lose sight of the connection the teacher draws between fearing God and keeping His commandments. Obedience is the fruit of the tree of which the fear of God is the root. We cannot rightly follow and obey God if we do not fear Him. We do not honor, reverence, and love Him. Fear is really much connected to obedience, discipline. And that goes with a certain process in your life, as well as for children, as well for young adults, as well for adults. In the presence of God, if we really want to follow God, there is a path to follow. And fear, like I said in the beginning, needs to do something in our life, making us aware where we are. And fear, God does not mean that you are so afraid of God, because sometimes the word fear is so mistranslated to get or to hold people in line of a very wrong, dominant experience. And this is not what God wants us to experience. Fear is respectful, is honoring God, is giving Him the full of yourself. So come with me in this very new study. And part one is, I will follow you, O God, living all of life in your conscious presence. Psalm 16 verse 11 says, you will fill me with joy in your presence. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Psalm 46 verse 1. And Psalm 139 verse 7 says, where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? He is here. A God-fearing person lives all of life in the conscious presence of God. I use the phrase conscious presence deliberately. The truth is, we live at all times in the presence of God, whether we are aware of it or not. I'll say this again. The truth is, we live at all times in the presence of God, whether we are aware of it or not. We can say with David, where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise on the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there, your hand will guide me. Your right hand will hold me fast. Psalm 139, verses 7 to 10. As a God-fearing man, David was keenly aware of never being absent from God's all-pervasive presence. Neither the heights of the heavens nor the depth of the earth, nor the farthest boundaries of the sea could provide an escape from God. Wherever David went, God was there, beholding all he did. To help us understand this, the Bible teaches both the immensity and the omnipresence of God. These two descriptive terms are related but distinct. The immensity of God is the phrase used to express the fact that God is infinite in his relation to space, that the entire indivisible essence of God is at every moment of time, contemporaneously present to every point of infinite space. Omnipresence characterizes the relation of God to his creatures as they severely occupy their several positions in space. Perhaps the two terms are best understood by use of human analogy. For example, when you write something and you're sitting behind a desk, by reaching forward, your arm can barely touch the front of it. But you can't be both behind and in front of your desk at the same time. God, however, is both behind our desk and in front of all times. This is a simple sample. Not by extension of his arms, so to speak, but with his entire being. He is in fact everywhere present. In our study, in our house, and in the entire universe, in all we do. In all we place ourselves, in another city, in another state, whatever. Even on the most distant star in the universe, God is there in his invisible essence just as much as he is in your or mine study. That is God's immensity. Solomon acknowledged God's immensity in his dedication prayer for the temple. But will God really dwell on earth? The heavens, even the highest heaven, cannot contain you. How much less this temple I have built. 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 27. God's omnipresence arises obviously from his immensity and refers to his continuous presence with each of us. This is what David was acknowledging to God in Psalm 139. Wherever we are, you are there. God is with us in our study and with our children and with our spouses, in the kitchen, everywhere, at all the same time. When I travel to a distant city, God is just as much with me as the person who is with me. Or when your spouse or your children are home and you travel, so God is also there. So he is present with everyone. our brothers and sisters, the other sides of the world, everywhere. Even if we could travel in a spaceship to that most distant star, God will be there with us. Jeremiah 23, verse 23 and 24, he speaks to both God's immensity and his omnipresence. And here it is. Am I only a God nearby, declares the Lord, not a God far away? Can anyone hide in secret places so that I cannot see him, declares the Lord? Do not I fill heaven and earth, declares the Lord. Pray with me, or listen to the words. Yes, Lord, you truly do fill heaven and earth. And indeed, the reach of your presence far exceeds even that, since the heavens, even the highest heaven, cannot contain you. For all this I praise and worship you today. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens, and let your glory be over all the earth. Became you are everywhere. I can always know that you are here. My longing is to live in the full awareness of his reality and to know the blessing that comes from it. Blessed are those who have learned to acclaim you, who walk in the light of your presence, O Lord. And because of the salvation you have granted me through the death of your Son, Jesus Christ, I look forward to the indescribable experience of being with you for all eternity. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. The Lord bless you and protect you. The Lord deal kindly and graciously with you. The Lord bestow his favor upon you and grant you peace. Blessings to all of you, my dear ones. Enjoy this encouraging study and let it become a very in-depth study that will transform your life, coming close to the very deep intimacy with Jesus. This is your Pastor Yeti. Bye.